Welcome to HDPP Live on a Saturday night to the UK and around the world with photos, memories and friends. This is HDPP Live. How are you this evening? Are you all well?
Hinckley District has the present for you, meeting friends old and new. Streaming Wednesdays and Saturdays too, with founder members Paul and Sue. The smiles that we bring are a heritage thing. HDPP, keeping history alive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Where local memories survive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Film clips, photos, memories and friends helps a dreary night go by. Wearing Hinckley's 6 of the best, stupendous quizzical high. The smiles that we bring are a heritage thing. HDPP, keeping history alive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Where local memories survive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Let's take you back in time. A community affair. We'll take you for a ride. Henson's cab will take you there. We're making history. HDPP, chat room applauses. History supporting local causes. Streaming HDPP live. Betty is our queen bee. Sweet as honey candy. Dangerous Den here again. HDPP live. Hey, you know you keep it in HDPP.
Oh, they get better every week, don't they? They just get better and better every week. Good evening. Come on in, there's more. Welcome. It's HDPP Live on a Sunday evening. For those of you that are watching live, if you're watching on catch up, of course, it could be any time of day or night or anywhere around the world. Just noticed my chest seems a bit low. Must be me. Or the camera. Oh, I think the camera's moved. Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Don't worry. I think I can just about touch that. Yeah. That's better. There you go. You see, this programme isn't just thrown together. It's positively chucked. Welcome to the programme once again. All the regular features for a Sunday evening, including 6 of the best, the noser, and anything else we can shoehorn in between now and the end of the programme. And as you can already see, people already are in the chat room, and they were actually on the ball tonight, I have to say. They really were, because Ian Roberts was first through. Pat Galloway with a big cooey. You always know a HDPP member down Castle Street when you hear from the bottom of the Castle Street, cooey. And it don't half echo up through past Bell Entry, doesn't it? So welcome along. Dave B is here. Dave, who is somewhere on the Canal Network. We've got a stinker. Have we got a stinker of an anagram tonight? Maybe. Mrs. G's worked it out now because she has to test it out to make sure I've used all the right letters and stuff. And she was struggling for a while and then, but you'll see why in a minute. Kath Den is here. Hi, Kath. And Queen Bee is here as well. Jan Kirby wishing everybody, I hope you're having a great bank holiday. Although you wait for bank holidays and then they all come along all at once, don't they? Absolutely. Even Mrs. Poldark is here as well. Sitting there. Look, now let's just look. If I could do an old Edmonds and go, let's go live now, and then you'd see Kit. Oh! Oh, if only we could do that one night. That'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? Anyway, Daniel Coburn's here as well. Hi, Daniel. Heard you getting mentioned on the breakfast show the other morning on FOSS 107. Yeah, you see, I do listen to it as well as participate with it and present on there. So all is good there. Delighted to say that David Allen here as well. David, it was good to see you at the social night on Wednesday night. Didn't we have a good night? It was great. Hinckley. In colour for the first time, and thank you for being my guinea pigs on the night, because it was good. Mike Sanson was very helpful as well with pointing out one or two things, because he's a bit older than me. So thank you, Mike. I don't know whether he watches this or not, but having said that, Mike, it is appreciated. Everybody seems to have had a good time. I know Carol Beasley did. She was leading the Burbage lot, as they did miserably on the raffle as well. So those of you that were there would know, but it was a great night, wasn't it? Kevin Beasley is also here. Hi, Kevin. Thank you very much. Got that pamphlet. I've been getting around to trying to read it all weekend. I haven't forgot. Jeff Wallace, of course, in Brig. Anna in Hinckley. Yeah, they really do. They're wearing out the A46. I know that. Also, David S. is here. Wishing everybody welcome to the room and enjoy yourselves. So Alan Crop is here. The crops are in. We always know we're okay when the crops are in. This is absolutely. Elaine Galloway's here as well, along with Julie Jeffcott. So they're the latest additions to the chat room. Remember to like this video, please. It really helps with the analytic and the antibiotics and everything that Facebook and YouTube use. So if you just click a like, and if you make sure you have subscribed, because then you get the notification. The second I press the live button here, you get a notification. It's HDPP time. So there we go. Jeff Wallace saying the A46 has been worn out for a long time. Well, there you go. There's so much we could throw in there, but listen. So, all the regular features tonight, and I've been chatting to Mr. Nosy himself, Steve, who is at this very minute apparently uploading the latest version. Now, I might not be able to get a chance to download it and present it here tonight. I will try, but I can't promise because it's all quite busy here at the minute, and I might even overstep my mark on the broadband. I don't know. Anyway, Kath Denny said, we had a fantastic time at the social, as always. Thank you, everybody, for singing happy birthday. It was Kath's birthday. Yeah. Oh, we get to know these things, you know. So it was a great night, seeing those pictures on the screen. And like I said, just with hints of colour and stuff, I thought it was really, really good. So thanks for coming along. And the raffle did well as well, actually. So thank you. We'll be going into our Good Causes Fund, as you know. And we'll see. I don't know what the heck we're going to do at our next social night, but I shall think of something. Was thinking something on the lines of probably a bit of a games night type thing. You know, we could probably do play your cards right, because I can do a stupid, ridiculously hopeless Bruce Forsyth. So we could probably do that and have a few other bits and bobs. So let me know what you think. Put it in the chat room if you'd like to do something like that, just for a change. Okay then, 6 of the best time. Now, this is going to be good tonight. You're going to like it. Not a lot, but you're going to like it, I can assure you of that. And as I say, we ask you 6 questions, a couple of local ones usually, and some general knowledge and stuff, guess the year and what have you. But let me just tell you, as I say every time, remember, don't go putting your answers in this blooming chat room, because people nick your answers, you know. They do. So keep them to yourself until the end of the programme, when we ask you to submit your answers as we go through each of the questions. Are we all ready? Are we all steady? Let me click the button as we go to 6 of the best. Good evening, John Fletcher. Matron. Glad you made it, John. Nice one. Okay then, 6 of the best. Here we go with question number 1. Oh, Paul, what a stinker. You're not messing about this week. I want you to name the 3 years that each of the indoor Hinckley swimming pools first opened. Well, you wouldn't have been about for the first one, I grant you that, but you would have been about more than likely for the one, for the 2 latter ones. Well, you better have been, otherwise there's something wrong. Anyway, so name the 3 years that each of the indoor Hinckley swimming pools first opened. So I'm looking for 3 years. So there's your first one. Get scribbling and think that was not a bad question, Paul. Well done. Pat on the back. Give yourself a point. Question number 2. Up to 1 trillion germs can be found on which part of the body? Is it your armpit? Is it your hair? Or is it your foot? One of them is the correct answer. So pick A, B or C for your answer to question number 2. Up to 1 trillion germs can be found on which part of the body? Good evening, Gary Betterley. Glad you've made it, matey. Bonjour. That's about the top and bottom of my French vocabulary. Our true or false John Dennis book will be published next month. Question 4. Guess the year. When did Superman, a fictional superhero, first appear? Was it 1938, 1954, 1968? One of them is definitely correct. Okay. Question number 5. It's so easy this week, Paul. I don't know why I bother making them so easy, but I just feel sorry for you, so I do make them easy. Where am I? I'm in Hinckley, and I think we've used this before, if I'm totally honest with you. Where in Hinckley am I? Kath Denny, I don't know the answer to 3. We'll come back to that one in a moment. You should know as well, Kath. The anagram question. Right, I shall leave this on the screen so you can get all your letters done, right? Okay. Corruptest hellhole out. Now, this is not a reflection of the place we're actually got as the answer. So don't let the actual anagram put you off, because the place we're actually looking for is quite a very nice place. I have to say that. Now, it's not in Hinckley. So you can instantly remember that. No, we're not in Hinckley. So we are approximately 4 or 5 miles out of Hinckley. Okay. This place, I'd call it hospitality in the countryside. I think that's the fairest clue I can give you at this point, okay? Hospitality in the countryside. Now, basically, if you get the village, because the village name is in here, if you get the village name, you'll get the rest. So try and find the village name in this. A village that's at least sort of 4 or 5 miles away from Hinckley. So I'll give you an idea. Even now, I can hear David Blower groaning. Oh, it's no good, David. You'll have to buy a map. So let's just see how you do with it so far. So, corruptest hellhole out. It's not really, by the way. As I say, it is just a very, very nice place in the countryside. Not that far from Hinckley. Get the village out of that lot, and then you will easily then get the actual location which features in our anagram tonight. So, let's go through one more time if you've just come in. Oh, Gary Betterley is writing in blooming French now. Bonjour, mon ami, j'y arrive, les neuf avril à Hinckley. You see, I told you I could read French. Can read it, don't know what the heck it's saying. Right, local knowledge. Name the 3 years that each of the indoor swimming pools were first opened. So I'm looking for 3 years for 3 pools. Now, you do a bit of delving around for that one. That's question 1. Question 2. Up to 1 trillion germs can be found on which part of the body? Armpit. Wouldn't surprise me. Hair, if only I had. And C. A foot. What do you think? That's question 2. True or false, John Denny's book will be published next month. Question 4. When did Superman, a fictional superhero, first appear? Was it 1938, 1954 or 1968? One of them is the correct answer, of course. Where in Hinckley am I? Yeah, there. Well, you will know this. I think it's quite easy, actually. So I'll just leave it at that. I am somewhere in Hinckley. And number 6, our anagram question. The corruptest hellhole out. It's not really. That's just how the anagram has done it. We're looking for a village, a location, by a village, somewhere about 4 or 5 miles out from Hinckley. Hospitality in the countryside is the best way I can say what it is so far. Good. Okay. After all that, you can just see in the chat room just at the bottom, Mr. Nosy said, look, said my latest video is up. Oh, God. I will do my best to download it while you're watching videos. It's not going to be easy, I can tell you, because I've got no screen space. But I will have a go in a moment. Yeah, anyway, look at Russet. Now we're all showing you see, I'll show my ignorance. I don't know, but Russet just says, Gary Betterley says, you're arriving 9th of April. Is that in Hinckley, or you have arrived the 9th of April? So where are you, Gary? Are you here or are you there? That's what I want to know. Look, it'd be great to catch up, mate. Seriously, at some stage anyway. Right, okay then. That's got them all talking. Gary, you've really got them all going at you now. We're a friendly lot here at HDPP. Okay then. What can we give you tonight? Well, I've got a little choice of stuff, actually. We've got a little bit of completed home cinema, home cine films of Hinckley. We've shown a little while ago. We can show that. And it's a case of timing, because most of the things tonight all lasted about half an hour. So we'll be... Gary's corrected himself. 9th of May. Right, mate. 9th of May. We must try and catch up, matey. All right. That's when Monsieur Betelier from France will be arriving in Hinckley. There we go. That's the best I can do. Pardon. Yeah, we'll do that. So let's have a little bit of home cinema of Hinckley. I think we will tonight. We compiled this for a show we did at St Mary's a little while ago. I'm going to let so much of it run, and then we'll probably save the second part for next week, because you've seen some of these before, but not all. But let's have a look then, shall we? It's quite a nice little quite a nice little collection. I would definitely say what this is that you're going to see. Now, we've all seen the Lido, of course, and this is probably the best film we've got of the Lido, you see, and this is not included in question 1 of 6 of the best tonight, I'll have you know. Okay then, so memories of the Lido. What are yours, particular memories that you have got? That'd be nice to know, wouldn't it? I mean, I think a lot of us probably can't remember it. It opened in the 1930s, of course, and then lo and behold, as I say, it closed for the duration of the war and never reopened. There we go. Right, I'm going to try a lot of multitasking now here, ladies and gentlemen. I think what I will try my best to do is to just let the video and the pictures do the talking while I try and find the latest Nosy. Sit back and enjoy. Remember the days we had real snow? This is Clarendon Road in the Second World War. Even the dog was having a lovely time. This is in the yard of the Toon family, which was in Clarendon Road. They owned the farm called White House Farm out there on the Jolson estate. This family also documented lots of the street celebrations concerning the treats, and this is just one of many treat processions that they actually filmed. And this was filmed on the balcony of what was the corner silk shop. So we're on the junction of Castle Street and, of course, new buildings, as you can see. I always talk about the lovely decorated prams because it gave mums and families a chance to join in all together, the little ones as well. There's Wyking Methodist. After the procession, people would move on to catch the procession again elsewhere in the town. Here's some, in the more recent time, in Castle Street, more Sunday school treats. Coming down Castle Street, you can see Russell's in the background, and we're just coming by Tesco and Woolworths. Maybe you walked in this procession, or maybe you was one of the prams. We'd love to know. Can you remember Kathleen, who was just walking by the camera there with the blue dress on? And just look how many people are out for the procession. The treats always took place on the first, I think it was the first weekend of July. Never fell no later than the 7th of July. And then they would gather in the borough with the church there as the backdrop. And of course they would sing hymns and stuff and all the rest of it. A little look at Hinckley Steam Engine Rally now. Great bit of footage we have here for you as well. And now a quick candid look at Hinckley at the railway station. These are all just fleeting glimpses very, very quickly, but maybe some of us can remember when it was like this. And on to St. Peter's Barbecue, which we say we've seen these before, but it's always lovely to see them again. Happy days of St. Peter's Barbecue on St. Peter's Fields off Spa Lane in Hinckley. And there we will leave St. Peter's Barbecue and we will move on this evening. We can show you a little bit more of that next week. Now, what's really put the spoke in the wheel tonight, Mrs., is that Steve Picker's only just uploaded his latest video and I'm trying to download it so I can show it to you tonight. But it means I've got loads of things all juggling up. Mrs. G sits there. No, well, she can't, to be fair, she couldn't do this, admittedly. So, hence why we're a little bit sort of disjointed. But listen, how are you doing with 6 of the best? Shall we go and another look at a little bit more of 6 of the best? Where are we going through, I ask myself. Well, like I say, we will show some more of that film, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I've cut it short because I'm playing with time because you might get a double nosy tonight, but I'm not sure. Question number 1. Name the 3 years that each of the indoor Hinckley swimming pools were first opened. You should at least get 2 of 3, I would get, but there you go. That is question number 1. Okay. Question 2. Now, up to 1 trillion germs can be found on which part of the body? Is it your armpit? Is it your hair? Or is it your foot? But one of them is the correct answer. Difficult true or false this week. John Denny's book will be published next month. True or false? Question 4. When did Superman, a fictional superhero, first appear? Was it 1938? Was it 1954? Or was it 1968? One of them is definitely the right answer. And where am I? I'm surprised, but some people don't know. Pretty easy, but I think so. But there again, I think it's all easy, don't I? Where am I? Okay. Let's go to the anagram. Now, some people have got the anagram. Jeff Wallace, well done. John Denny. Go and get your book done, John. Corruptest hellhole out. Yeah? Corruptest hellhole out. About 4 or 5 miles out of Hinckley, you will find this place. What you've got to do, get the village first, then the rest will follow. Such as the likes of Jeff Wallace and John doing well. So well done to them. I would give you the clue of saying it's hospitality in the countryside, I will say. But that's as much as I shall say for it about now, okay? Then I can't be much more fairer than that. So that's 6 of the best. We'll, of course, revisit those questions again before the end of the night. And, of course, we'll do the old answers later. As I say, Wednesday night was great. We had a lovely turnout at the social night, which was a bit of a relief because I thought I was going to be standing there talking to just me and just a couple of others, actually. But it was good. So, I really enjoyed showing some of those pictures again, and particularly, like I say, with a bit of colour. I think it's going to be a popular thing, which we'll do. I've got some more, which we've done, but I just concentrated mainly on Castle Street, Marketplace, Regent Street, generally speaking. But as I say, some of you seen, some of them were really come over really, really well. So I was really pleased about that. On Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, HDPP are off to the St Francis Luncheon Club to entertain the people that attend there for their lunch on a Wednesday. We've been there quite a few times now. They've also featured as one of our HDPP local good causes. So it's nice to go along and be showing them some films and stuff. And I think we've been promised a bit of lunch this week. So that's something to look forward to as well. And of course, as you know, we do go out and about on Monday. Last Monday it was great because I was taking a small troop of heritage heroes around Hinckley, and we started in St Mary's Churchyard, and it was great. The way the kids lap it up, it really is, and the questions they ask are fantastic. So we started in the churchyard, showed them the bleeding tombstone, gave the story about that, took them to see the sundial, took them round to see where the priory was, and so on. And the kids are they're excited and they're fascinated. And then we walked up Castle Street, and basically we ended up it down one of the jetties into Castle Street. Eels, I think it's Eels Yard. Yes, it was Eels Yard. and that was great because the kids could actually see the bricks, the old real narrow bricks and stuff, and the wood beams there. And I was saying, come on, kid, I want you to touch this. This has been standing here, for hundreds of years, and it's still here for you today. And the kids are so excited. It's absolutely fantastic. I love it when it's like that. You really, really can't beat it. And the more we can get the kids involved, the better. Why am I waffling? Because I'm trying to get the latest nosy down. So I really ought to bring Steve Picker in now, so he can feel why I'm doing what's got to be done behind the scenes. Right, what I'm going to do is this. Apparently, there's a nosy which I'd already got lined up for tonight, and then there's a new one. Now, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to try something, this might not even work, but this is a live stream. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It's not edited, with all the, mistakes in. So I don't know whether this is going to work, but I'm going to try. I have two screens I have here at HDPP. I've got the main screen in front of me, excuse me, and then on my right-hand side, there's another little screen, like an auxiliary screen. And I tend to put stuff on there so I can work there without interrupting what's going on in front of me. Downloading the latest nosy, I'm glad I have got two screens now, but what I don't know is whether indeed it's live, and I love it. Okay. Just said, this program's not responding. Don't you just love these messages? Hang on. I'm going to see, indeed, whether this has worked, Steve. I've been trying to do it, but no, it's not. It's just not playing ball. So, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, then. While I'm talking to you, and please, once again, remember, this is a live program. I'm going to try and put the latest nosy on, because he wanted the latest nosy on, you understand. I'm going to try and play it live right here as it's on my screen. Now, I know that I need to do a couple of little clever bits now. I just hope it's going to work, because I really don't know whether it's going to work. Hang on. I know you're sitting there going, look at him, he doesn't know what he's doing. I do. The thing is, it's working out how I'm going to do it. Let me see. Right, what I'm going to try and do is I've got a load of Mr. Nosy. You've really put the kibosh on things tonight. You've really got things sorted here, haven't you? Now then, actually, I think no, I can't do that. If I click a couple of things here, we might be able. No, I can't do it. Not that way. Oh dear, this is embarrassing because I can't do it. Dear. I wonder if I know you're thinking, what's he doing? Get on with it. Get on with it, indeed. Now, I think we're just going to have to settle for the one I've got in the box, as it were, because I can't get the screens to work the way I really, really want to, which is a bit of a shame, actually, because I would have loved. Actually, I'm going to try one thing. I'm going to try one thing for you. But it's a case I'm having to do all this, keep talking, and then capture things. Display capture, game capture, image slider. It's all there, and it's not what I need. A window capture. Right, okay. Let's see if I can do this. Yes, I've got it. Bear with me a moment, ladies and gentlemen. You don't get this very often. You don't. Whew, this is going to be fun, because now all I've got to do is click another button and it should work. Now, what's not going to happen, and I do know this, is that the audio probably won't be there straight away, but I will do my best to put the audio on a few seconds in, just the nature of how it works. So, if you're all sitting comfortably, are you ready? I'm going to try this. This might not even work. Here we go. Come on, Paul. Will it work? Is it going to work?
everyone, how you diddling? My name is Steve, and once again it's a great big warm welcome from myself to Let's Explore. Right, here he is. We've got everybody's favourite man of the cloth, the pissed up priest.
We're at home today.
We're at home. I found him in his home, and we're in an abandoned church. Look at this, folks. This is unbelievable. So we're in North Yorkshire, and this is Warren Percy. This is the most intact medieval village in the whole of the land, according to form. And this is its former church of St Martin's. It's an incredible ruin, as you've already seen at the start of the video. But this video isn't about Warren Percy today. I just wanted to start the video here, to be honest with you, because what we have come to look at is a small part of the former Moulton to Driffield Railway that opened in 1853. Now, just up there, about half a mile, 3/4 of a mile away, not quite a mile, there's an old chalk works and a quarry. Now, long story short, 2 years ago, because I'm subscribed to Martin Zero's channel, I watched one of his videos and it was here. But the thing of it is, I'm on holiday this week and I was scouring Google Earth and all the maps and what have you, and I seen this place, and I'd not realised that the chalk works where he'd gone, what I'd forgotten, was near Warren Percy. So I got on the phone to the pissed up priest who's staying in Sheffield near there this week with family. I says, let's go and check this place out. Do you know what I mean? So here we are, Steve.
Yeah, here we are.
But no one here.
No.
There's no one. No one here, mate.
Nice and early, nice and quiet.
Fantastic. And what a beautiful ruin, mate. I love these ruins. I'm not a religious man, but I really appreciate these buildings. And there's a graveyard out there. I'll show you a bit of that before we go to the railway, anyway. Anyway, without any further ado, let's get you over to the maps, and then we'll go and check that out. Shall we disappear, Steve?
We'll disappear.
Come on. Alrighty then, so in this week's video we are indeed back in North Yorkshire, the home of Yorkshire tea and Sean Bean. Do it for Yorkshire! Yeah, maybe not. Right, so as you can see, where that arrow is indeed pointing, that is roughly where the Yorkshire Wolds are, and the fantastic, lovely and beautiful Tut village, or former Tut village, of Warren Percy is. Right, so before we go and check out this chalk works, we may as well go and have a look at this former deserted village. And, you know, like many deserted villages back in the day, I mean, there's so many across the country. There's quite a few in Leicestershire, actually, that I'm going to actually make a video about at some point this year. So I'll keep you posted on that. But Warren Percy was actually a victim of sheep. I know, amazing, isn't it? And the actual name Percy in the village actually comes from the family that once owned it. Now, back in those times, you kind of lived under a manor, didn't you? And you worked for the manor, and a lot of people farmed. And basically, in a nutshell, they were farming cereals, that kind of thing. And it came to a point where it was more profitable to actually have sheep. So by the 16th century, I think it was, I think the last residents were kind of kicked off the land at Warren Percy, and they were replaced with sheep, and, you know, the dwellings actually knocked down. But it's quite interesting, because as you can see here, we've got an Ordnance Survey map, courtesy of the National Library of Scotland, and this is dated 1853. Now, that's when the railway opened, as you can see to the right there. And you can just about make out where it says site of the village of Warren Percy. You can see, you know, scattered remains there of buildings, so the foundations may have still been there. But, you know, in my opinion, it's quite sad, isn't it? You know, life was cheap. You know, if something else was worth more than human beings, then sadly the humans were gone. They're still pretty much the same this day and age in places, isn't it? But what we'll do, we're going to have a fly around with the drone and have a look. There's also a fantastic graveyard here at the former Warren Percy St Martin's Church, which is now, as you've already seen, stood in ruin. But this church, of course, was still in use for the local population after the village had actually long gone. So we're going to have a look around anyway, and then we'll go and have a look at the chalk works. So all the people's houses that were unfortunately kicked off the land here to make way for sheep would have been to the left and to the north of the church as you look at it. And just before it disappears, you could just see that body of water to the south of the church. I think that was a mill pond back in the old times. And there would have been a really old-fashioned, probably constructed out of wood, mill there. All right, it's quite straightforward, he says. Right then, so we're on the railway now. So we've got this really old hut here. I'm assuming this was built in 1853, and if it was, therefore, it's very old. So I'm not quite sure actually, because like I say, I've watched Martin Zero's video. I've done a bit of reading up on this as well. And also, is it ALW Exploration or Research Team, I think he's called as well, because he actually brought Martin here. So I've seen a bit of his work, but I had to come and have a look at this myself. It's fantastic. And I'm not quite certain. I think they were saying that this is like a, wow, old fireplace in here. This is like a, an old token office as well, I think. I'm not certain for actual railway locomotives coming in and out of the quarry. I'm not sure, because of course the quarry was built, well, dug out, they started extracting chalk there in the 1920s, I think they said. So, but this railway, of course, opening in 1853, you know, quite a while before that. Let's show you in here anyway. Lovely little building, and it's still here, Steve.
Yep, great.
Still here. You can't fault that, can you, my old mate? Right then, as you can see, me and the pissed up priest and his parishioner here, we're actually walking this Moulton to Driftfield track bed now, but as you can see, in the distance there, sticking up very proud above the hedgerow there, is what we've actually come to see today. Now this is the Warham chalk works where they were actually crushing this chalk. It's a fantastic piece of industrial architecture, if you ask me. Built in the 1920s. It's not as old as some of the things we look at usually on the channel, but it's still mightily impressive. And for once, Steve, at this point anyway, we're not trespassing, because I think this is a footpath. Excellent. Who'd have thunk it? Right then, so what do you make of this? Right next to a footpath, brilliant. We're not going to get shot for once, but I don't think we are anyway. But this, of course, then, is the very impressive chalk silo, and I assume it were all being stored up the top of there. But here, this is, I mean, I'll show you around the rest of this site, but this is where, once the actual chalk had been processed, it were being loaded into railway wagons here. Either side, I think. You've got chutes. I'll show you around it all. It's a fantastic place, this is. Really proper right up our street. He's off already, the priest is, look. He's going to do a prayer, I reckon. Right, let's have a nosy round this then. So there would indeed have been a railway track in here. Trucks would have come in here and been loaded at this point. And as you can see, you got hoppers here. It were all stored above there. And this, I think there'd have been some sort of chain pulley system on here where, just demonstrate that actually, Steve, just move that about. So that's opening it, and of course, once it's let go, it would have shut. But I mean, this here, I mean, there's one there and all. Look,
Yeah.
there's two in here.
Shut these fully, so these were fully shut with a chain up to that block and tackle, and you pulled it down here and latched it in there on one of the links, and that secured them.
That was very professional, Stephen.
Yeah.
This is your sort of cathedral, isn't it, as well, being a priest? There you go. And for anyone who actually wonders and wants to ask me the question, is he really a priest? No, he's not. So this here then, this is where the operator would have sat, and he'd have had some controls in here. Now this would work quite similar to a signal box, I reckon, because just down here you got this wooden flooring, look, where all the gubbins had gone underneath here that worked the whole thing, I imagine. But what a relic. Because again, it's the same on this side, look. We've got more of these hoppers. And again, a pulley wheel up there. Fantastic. All this breeze block work has been put in here. And I've just remembered why, Steve.
Yeah.
Because this place apparently, I don't know how true it is, was turned into a bit of a pig farm at one point. So these are pens. Yeah, this is what they are. Yeah, it threw me when I seen them, then I remembered. So absolutely brilliant, mate. What a nosy yet again.
Yeah, it's great.
Alrighty then, so you know the dealio by now. On this channel at Let's Explore, we love out to do with old brickwork and stonework, and in my opinion, stonework especially. But this silo, which was built in 1918, this is the start of that period where they started throwing up structures in concrete. Now, concrete, in my opinion, it ain't the sexiest of materials when we're looking at industrial sites like this. But having said that, me and Steve really enjoyed this nosy today, and just look at that, it dominates the surrounding landscape, don't it, on the Yorkshire Wolds. And when we turned up, we started walking down a pathway at the car park, and it stuck out like a sore thumb straight the way. Right, so this is where it really kind of starts here. I mean, we've gone arse about face really, haven't we? Because I've shown you where the actual, once it had been processed, where it was actually loaded on first. But at this point, we're quite a ways above the Moulton and Driffield Railway. But what I'm stood on now is a railway because, I mean, you won't see it just yet. I'll show you in a bit. But the quarry is up that end. And they were bringing trucks down here, shunting them down here. And they were actually side tipping into here, as you can see now. And there was a great big crusher in there. And as you can see at the back, there's a bit of a groove in the back wall. And I think that's where a conveyor belt was, taking the crushed chalk up to the top of the silo to be processed. And then loaded into railway trucks at the lower level. So, but it's a fantastic piece of engineering, this place, and I'm amazed that it's still standing here. I'm amazed that it was never demolished, if I'm honest with you. But as far as I know, I mean, this actual site was actually used from the 1920s up to around about the 40s, so it had a kind of short-lived life. But I think they were taking the odd bit of chalk out after that period, up to the 60s. I might be wrong there, but yeah, amazing stuff. Anyway, we'll walk around the rest of it and see what else there is. It's a good one for us, this is today. Right, so this is quite an interesting room, this is. I mean, of course, there's not a lot left in here anymore, as you can see. But, of course, you've got the crushing plant just up there, to the right of where you're standing right now. And now where me and Steve are, you've got these RSJs above you. Now, I think this was where they used to do any work to the crusher or its parts, if anything needed doing, if there was a breakdown or anything. Now, I'm not really sure how stuff like that works particularly. I'm not very mechanically minded, if I'm honest. But I do know, as they said in the video that I seen actually, that, plant crushing, it don't take long before it needs maintenance, does it? Because when you've got all that continuality of rock, rock going through. And not only that, these trucks that were tipping off that tipper, they could carry about 3 tonne. That's a lot of chalk every day. But what did you say would be used?
Probably a block and tackle crane, so it's a manually operated crane, so you can move your machinery around in here to work on it and do maintenance.
Because if you remember, were you there that day when we went to, what's that pit called? Bretby Pit? Did you come to that with us, or was that before I really knew you? Because they've got a garage, it was turned into a car garage part of that were, and it was pretty much the same setup as this, but it weren't a car garage, it was for lorries.
Yeah.
And it was just the same. They'd even got some of the chains left. Anyway, I'm digressing, ain't I? And immediately next door, we've got this room. Now, I'm not actually quite sure what was going on in here, but I think, as we've just been saying, I don't know if there were pigsties or what were going on in here, to be honest with you. I do know that this was converted into a pig farm at some point, but it's not in a very good state at the minute, it's got to be said. But what a great nose there. I'm not sure what all these hooks are on the wall. Probably the Yorkshire Chainsaw Massacre or something, do you know what I mean?
Probably for belts.
Yeah, it could be. Right, so what you're looking at now is the bridge that brought the actual chalk in the wagons from the quarry down to the crushing plant, which is on the right, that I shown you earlier. Right, so just behind this plant, you've got these lime kilns here. And these are probably the most modern lime kilns I've ever seen. I mean, usually when when we go to these old industrial complexes, you know, here and there, they're usually, you know, built in the 1800s or well before. I mean, I've looked at some from the 1700s, not far from where I live in northwest Leicestershire, actually, up near Staunton Harold there. But, you know, these, and as you can see now with this one, I mean, this is on the verge of collapse. And as you can see, there's a lot of fractured brickwork there. And as you can see on the top, we've got trees, and that equals one thing, doesn't it? Roots. And, you know, where you've got roots in any kind of structure, it's just going to annihilate the structure that they're growing in. You what, mate?
Already has done this one.
Has it? Right then, you can probably just about make out me and Steve. I'm not going to look up because the sun's blinding me behind me there. But this is pretty much where the journey of the chalk started, probably where we should have started the video, to be honest, but I don't like doing things the normal way because I'm not a normal person. Do you know what I'm saying? But this is where the chalk was dug out, and, you know, picture the scene. You'd have probably have had steam shovels in here, steam cranes, you know. You'd have probably smelt the smell of tobacco as the blokes were working. There'd have probably been a decent number of blokes actually working in here, to be honest with you. But it's all a bit barren now, as you can see. I think they actually let sheep graze in here a lot of the time, but probably a haven for wild birds as well in here, I imagine. But, you know, the main operation in here mainly lasted for about 20 to 30 years, as I probably mentioned earlier. Not a long time, really. But yeah, and the sun's out, Stephen.
Yeah, great. Another great day in North Yorkshire.
Amazing stuff. Right then, so the great thing about this industrial complex we've been exploring down here at Warren Percy is the fact that it's next to a railway and running water, which of course means culvert.
And you know Steve loves a culvert.
I do. And do you know what? I've also brought my wellies. And guess what? I've just found out they've got a great big bloody hole in them, and I'm letting water in my left foot. But it don't matter. The sun's out, the nutters are out, and we're going down there. Let's go and have a nosy. Right, well, unfortunately, that concludes today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we're ending the video here. This is the Birdale Tunnel that was built in 1853. Now, the plan today was to actually go in this tunnel and explore it, but the truth of the matter is, I've got a load of water in my left welly, and we've just had a right ordeal. We've just spent the last hour, well, which felt like a week, trying to save Steve's drone. Now, that quarry you've seen in the video, Steve was circling that crushing silo thingamabob, and he went into a tree. It was the worst tree in the whole area to go up, but fortunately, once we located it, because that's got like a sat track on it, isn't it? Once we located it, there was a load of lumps of chalk, so we just kept throwing them up this tree. I've never seen nothing like it, but we got it out, and it's pretty much unscathed.
Yep, drone baseball.
Yeah, drone baseball. You heard it here first. You couldn't make it up. But if we were to explore this tunnel today, we couldn't do it from this end. We'd have to go about a mile in that direction. This is 1,700 yards, this is, just over. So it's about 100 yards longer than Sandsend's tunnel in the previous video that we did. Anything else to add, Stephen?
No, just a good day as usual. Like, subscribe and share.
Yeah, there you go. You heard it here first. The pissed up priest and his parishioner. Right, let's get out of here. I've had enough. It's time for a pint.
It is. Guinness it is.
I'm going to, yeah, let's have a Guinness. Let's go and find a really nice country pub in North Yorkshire and have a cold one. That's what I think we've earned it, Steve. Anyway, God bless you for watching, and I'll see you very soon at the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.
Well, I think you'll also agree that consider I literally played that live off the internet. That wasn't normally what I tend to do. Is download the file, load it into my program, which you're watching me on now, and then play it that way. And I was I'm going to be honest, I was quite pleased with myself that I managed to do all that while talking to you and keeping an eye on that. Anyway, that's it. Great nosy, Steve. Did enjoy that one, actually. Absolutely superb nosy. And next time, upload it at least an hour earlier, please. But we get some great noses from our Steve now, don't we? While that was been going on, one or two people starting to get the anagram. I know. We'll be doing, in fact, what we'll do, we'll go through the questions one more time, and then we can fill just a few minutes, I think, here on HDPP, because after all, this is a bank holiday weekend, and with Steve coming in and totally upsetting my playlist tonight. Not quite hard. Mind you, it doesn't matter, it's live, we do it. And you can see all the comments there in the chat room, actually, is very, very positive. Yes, a HDP Pro Let's Explore Premiere. Exactly. Yep. Well, lots of nice comments coming in for you, Steve. Well done. And hope you're enjoying your holidays. Absolutely. And I've heard of Warren Percy before, and I'm sure Time Team have done something around there or something, because it sounds very familiar to me. I'll have to check on that. And Steve says here, look, it was late because I was working on it for 6 hours plus upload time. Yeah, anyway, no, we'll let you off. We'll let you off this time, mate. Nice one. Okay, then, let's go over 6 of the best one more time. Last chance to see the questions this time. Question 1, we're asking, name the 3 years that each of the indoor Hinckley swimming pools were first open. That's a good question. I like that one. Question number 2. Up to 1 trillion germs can be found in which part of the body? Your armpit, hair, foot. And Jeff Wally said he's still counting his. True or false? John Denny's book will be published next month. Question 4. When did Superman, a fictional superhero, first appear? One of them is the correct year, of course. Where am I in Hinckley, which I think is really, really easy. But there you go. I'm sure you do too. And of course, the anagram. I did put a clue up earlier on saying, for those of you that's still struggling with the anagram, we are south of Hinckley. We're about sort of 4 or 5 miles away from Hinckley. Get the village, you'll get the place. It's one of them sort of things, you know. But if you have got the anagram so far, well done. Well done indeed. Gotta be a good thing if you've got it. And we'll give you the answers very, very shortly. Now then, other things going on at HDPP. We'll be scanning on the 20th of next month. This is incredible to think that this time next week the King will be crowned. And have you put your bunting out? I'm delighted to say that some people just down below us, just at the start of Mount Road, have put their bunting out. I'm going to be putting our bunting out probably tomorrow, actually, and put the flags out and stuff. Why not? You don't get... Well, a lot of us have never witnessed a coronation. So it's going to be quite special. Next Saturday, I do urge you all to at least give it a little bit of a watch. Not everybody is a royalist, of course, but that's fair enough. But these things don't happen very often, and it'll be a spectacle all the same to see, I'm sure. Right then, while I gather my breath, I know, let's take a commercial break. And Jan says, I put our new coronation flag up and putting up bunting tomorrow. Hope the town looks going to look good. Now, listen, I'm ready. Here come the flags, although you can't see them very well there. So got me flags ready, We ought to fly the HDPP flag. Probably a lot of you have never seen it. We have got a flag, seriously. But anyway, there you go. So remember to get your flags out and wave them, missus. Wave them all about, because it's going to be a special weekend next week. So there we go. Now, the reason I'm feeling is a bit, I was just thinking, well, we've nearly out of time for tonight's broadcast, but we've done well. We've done things in a real strange sort of way. But next week, we'll try and get it back onto the format. We'll have the rest of that completed home cinema of Hinckley. I might also screen the Red River Company's production of Being Dora. We've got that in the archive ready to screen. That was where it was performed in St Mary's Church. The Red River Youth Theatre did a great adaptation of a story which sort of involved Charlotte Brain, which I thought was very, very good. And the performers were absolutely superb. So I'm going to screen that next weekend, and we'll see how things go. Unless Mr Nosy suddenly leaves a video straight on my doorstep at 1 minute to 7:30. I don't know. Anyway, excuse me. Ian Roberts says, on about the coronation, I was in Mrs Bunting's class in the Albert Road School, Hinckley. Now then, Ian, what are you saying? Are you on about the Jubilee? Or on about a coronation? Because I'm older than you and I've never seen a coronation, so you can't have done. Anyway, that's great. Lovely. So it's now time. What you're waiting for? Yes. Yes. Jan Kirby says, yes, I'd like to see that, Paul, of Being Dora. I will screen next week. It's about 29 minutes, but it's really, really good. Absolutely. It's time for the answers for 6 of the best. Here we go then. So if you've all been doing as well as some of you claim to be, I've got a feeling some people might get 6 tonight. Let us see. Certainly some people should get 5 tonight. So, put your answer up now. Local knowledge. Name the 3 years that each of the indoor Hinckley swimming pools were first opened. I'm going to see who comes forward first. Okay. Oh, wow. John Denny. He didn't mess about there. Well done, John. Absolutely spot on. John Denny. 1910, 1977... 2016, they were exactly the years we were looking for. So John Denny gets himself a point with a big smirk on his face. You can see it from here. The sun went down hours ago, but you can still see it from here. Well done, John. So the correct answers were 1910, 1977 and 2016. General knowledge. Jeff Wallace said 1 so far. Right, up to 1 trillion germs can be found on which part of the body? Oh, is it your armpit? Is it hair or is it your foot? Let's see who comes through here. Yeah. While we're waiting for the answer to come in, Jan Kirby says Mike was on his dad's shoulders in London when the Queen went past. Shows she waved at him, so he said, yeah. John Denny's in again with the first right, and he's on fire tonight. The correct answer is C, foot. Did you know your foot has 1 trillion germs? Yeah, I know, amazing. Well done. I think, Jan's still playing. It's like Jan's on catch-up, so it always makes me laugh. You ought to pay for faster broadband, Jan. Anyway, there we go. Foot, yes, foot is where we got to on that one. Right then, I don't know if anybody will know the answer to this, but we'll leave it on. True or false? If anybody gets that wrong, I shall fall out with them big time. What is the answer? John Denny, probably not. What do you mean, probably? What do you mean, probably? Some people put absolutely false. David Allen, true. David, do you know something we don't know? Oh, you make me howl. You really, really do. It's definitely, absolutely 100% false. True that it's false. Absolutely, Jan. You are absolutely right. Question 4. When did Superman, the fictional superhero, first appear? What year did he first appear? I'm sure some of you will get this right as well. Was it 1938, 1954 or 1968? Denny on about the true or false said, I did wonder about that one. I'm not sure. John Denny's got 1938, so well done, John. The answer we are looking for is indeed 1938. 1938 is the correct answer. When Superman first appeared, he did. Done. I don't know where they're getting 1958 from. I really, really don't. However, so, as I say, 1938, the correct answer. Where am I? That's what I'm asking. Yes, Dan Coburn, 1938, sorry. Yeah. So, where am I in Hinckley? It is easy. I expect most of you to get this. Let me just see. John Denny's on fire. Will somebody get a fire extinguisher and put him out? Talking of fire extinguishers, yes, it's the fire station. It is indeed the fire station. In fact, I can just show you now, just very quickly. There you go. That's where it is. Look, we're at the fire station. So somebody please put John out. He's on fire tonight. Absolutely. I think John's going for 6 out of 6 tonight, and I know he said he got the anagram. Question 6. Corruptest hellhole out. We were looking for a place south of Hinckley, a village south of Hinckley. And let's just see. Right. Let's just see who comes in with the first one. Yes. It's John Denny's got Ullersthorpe Court. Well, it's Ullersthorpe Court Hotel is actually what we're looking for, but I will give you that, John. Jan Kirby, Ullersthorpe Court Hotel. Court Hotel, Ullersthorpe. Yes, well done. If you have got Ullersthorpe Court Hotel, well done. That is it. So I do know, even now, that the man that keeps us all in suspense every week with Willie, won't he? And more often, it's won't he? Bring his book out next month. John Denny has definitely got 6 tonight. And I can see that. Out on Queen Bee says... Queen Bee said Ullersthorpe Court Hotel. Well done, Queen Bee, as well. And there we go. Well, I got to Ullersthorpe. Can I... She said, Russet said, I got Ullersthorpe. Can I have half a point? You can have a full point for that. I will do. Carol Beasley. Back to my pathetic one. Oh, Carol. Really? Because you're on fire. The other week, you were on fire. John Denny on fire this time. 4 says Jan Kirby for me. David Allen, 1 for me. Yes. Kath Denny said, it must have been the pancakes that John was making earlier. Yeah, actually, a pancake sounds quite nice about now. Kevin Beasley, only 2 tonight. Elizabeth Moore, or Queen Bee. Elizabeth sounds ever so posh, you know. There we go. So, yes, Queen Bee, 4 tonight. Now then, let's see. Yes, and Russet said, my best ever 4. And Jeff Wallace comes in with a 5 tonight. Can't believe I didn't get the fire station. Yes, you should have got that, shouldn't you, mate? Absolutely. So well done. So if you got 6 at John Denny, look, 6, yeah. Room, book, now would be would be most useful for us, John. Come on, do it, man, do it. What you frightened of? You got the whole HDPP team behind you. We'll wave flags for you. We'll televise it. We'll do the lot. Just do it. Right, okay then. Well, thanks for that. That's been really good tonight. Thank you very much for joining us on this this Sunday evening. Like I say, a bit topsy-turvy in places, but we got through it. So there we go. And as Jan Kirby says there, look in the chat room. Look. No pressure, John. No pressure whatsoever, John. But if he's got time to put something in the soapbox derby, there'll be trouble. There. That's put the cat amongst the pigeons. Right. Okay. He knows I'm joking. Am I? Yeah. That's it for this week. We'll be back, of course, next week. Coronation weekend. We'll be having Being Dora. We'll put that on. We'll have a nosy. I might be screening the nosy. I was going to be screening tonight until Steve Picker put his latest nosy up, which meant I had to cancel the one I had to put up to put the new one up. You follow that? Yeah, exactly. Brilliant. Yeah, look, you see, Kath, he's getting all his priorities wrong. If you look in look now. In other words, he's doing the soapbox derby, but for you, me, and all us Hinkleyans, he's not doing his book. But he finds time to do his trolleys and his soapboxes. You tell me, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've been quite reasonable. We've waited 50 years for this book, and then he says we're rushing it. What's that all about? Anyway, less said about that. Well, I shall just keep ribbing him until he does, because then he'll have the pleasure of shutting me up. A lot of people would like that pleasure, actually, I know. So before anybody else says anything, thanks very much for watching. We'll be back next week. Another great lineup of stuff for you. Hope you can join me then. And in the meantime, remember to keep it HDPP and to keep it live. Till then, take care. Ta-da! Oh, hello. God, that was mad. That broadcast was absolutely mad. I'm only just catching up with myself now. One or two people already cleared off, but for those of you that don't know, this is the part of the programme we do where we don't talk about it, because I'll tell you a few real cruddy dad jokes to send you off to bed with a bit of a laugh, bit of a chortle. And Queen Bee says, "Good night, I must get back to the snicker." I think she means the snooker. Yeah. Oh, hello, Kath. Oh, hello, Daniel. Glad you've come back for a little bit of a laugh. Actually, I've got some good little ones tonight. So if you're all sitting comfortably, get your chuckle muscles ready, because we're going to be exercising your chuckle muscle, right? Let's see if I can do this right for you tonight. And you've heard this one before, but I'm doing it again because it's a good one. I can't take my dog to the pond anymore because the ducks keep attacking him. And that's what I get for buying a purebred dog. Someone complimented my parking today. They left a sweet note on my windshield that said, "Parking fine." Here we go. I was excited to hear that Apple might start selling its own cars until I learned they wouldn't support Windows. How do you make a waterbed bouncier? Add spring water. Yes! Yes! An apple a day keeps the doctor away. At least it does if you throw it hard enough. I had an appointment to see my psychic next week, but she called to cancel. She said I won't be able to make it. Almost there. Almost there. I used to be addicted to soap, but I'm clean now. And finally, I wanted my kids to watch the orchestra, but I had to turn it off. Too much sax and violins. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Ta-da.